She took a break to find herself, slept with other men for 6 months, came back begging. I said, hello everyone. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's begin the video. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons, with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. She paused her life to do some soul-searching, sleeping with other men for half a year before she came crawling back, begging. I told her no. What unfolded next was so shocking it left her speechless and finally gave her a taste of what she truly deserved. I need to get this off my chest because keeping it bottled up feels like it's killing me. 5 years. That's how long I, 29-year-old Mark, dedicated myself to building a life with someone who threw all of that away for some ridiculous self-discovery trip. Her name's Emily, she's 27, and up until 6 months ago, I genuinely believed she was everything I ever wanted. We met when I was 24, just promoted to assistant manager at a tech startup, while she was fresh out of nursing school, pulling endless, grueling shifts. At Denver General, I remember thinking she was way out of my league, this stunning woman who saved lives every day while I was stuck behind a desk, managing spreadsheets and pushing papers. Funny how quickly that dynamic changes. By the time everything fell apart, I was earning $95, $0 a year as the office manager, leading a team of over 20 people. Meanwhile, she was making around $72, $0, constantly complaining about burnout from the ER. Money was never a big issue between us. I covered most of our bills so she could save her paycheck. I wanted us to build something real, something solid. Then 3 weeks ago, she walked through the door after a particularly rough shift. Some kid had died in the ER and she was visibly shaken. I held her as she cried, cooked her favorite dinner, drew a bath, standard stuff I'd done dozens of times before. But that night, something was different. She kept looking at me like she was seeing a stranger. I need to talk to you about something, she said after her third glass of wine. My gut knew before my head did. You ever get that feeling when the room suddenly feels colder by 10 degrees? When your body goes into fight or flight mode even though you're just sitting in your living room, I need a break from us. Those 3 words hit me harder than any punch I'd ever taken. I asked what she meant. Were we breaking up? Was there someone else? What had I done wrong? She looked me straight in the eyes and said, "It's not you." And I wanted to laugh at how cliché that sounded, but she kept going. I just don't know who I am anymore. Between the hospital, us, everything, I feel like I've lost myself. I need time to figure out who Emily is without being anyone's girlfriend or nurse, she said. The suitcase by the door should have been my first clue. That wasn't a discussion, it was a notice. She had already made up her mind. She packed her stuff, her things, her life, my future, and decided I wasn't worth a second thought as she set out on some kind of self-discovery journey. I didn't beg. My pride wouldn't let me, even though every fiber of my being wanted to fall apart. Instead, I asked practical questions. How long would she be gone? Where would she stay? What about our lease? What about us? She kept replying, I just need time, maybe 6 months. I'm going to stay with my friend from nursing school up in Aurora. She swore it wasn't about anyone else, just herself. I swear I just need to do this for me, she said. That night, she left with her 2 suitcases and 5 years of our shared life behind. I was left in our 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill, still surrounded by her stuff, her scrubs in the laundry, her coffee mug in the sink, hair ties everywhere. She didn't bother packing the little things that showed she wasn't planning to come back. I'm not weak. I manage teams, make tough decisions daily, fire when necessary. But that first night alone, I sat on our bed and felt something inside me break. Not my heart, that's too poetic, but something deeper. It was like an operating system shutting down, with no backup available. The next day, I did what I do best, shut it down and throw myself into work. I got there early, stayed late, buried myself in projects. My team probably wondered why I suddenly cared about every tiny detail, but no one questioned the guy who signed their reviews. It's been 3 weeks now, 3 weeks of coming home to an apartment that feels like a mausoleum of what we once had. 3 weeks of friends asking where Vanessa is, and me having to tell them she's taking some time for herself. 3 weeks of obsessively checking her Instagram every night like a junkie. That's where it really gets me. Emily's account used to be full of pictures, her in scrubs, exhausted selfies after shifts, hikes in Rocky Mountain National Park, dinner dates, normal couple stuff. But about a week after she left, things shifted. First, there were new workout pics. Maybe she's hitting the gym to cope. Then came shots from nights out, her in dresses I've never seen before at clubs we'd never been to, dancing with strangers I don't recognize. At first I thought, okay, she's exploring, finding herself, whatever that means. But then last night I saw the post that made me finally write this. It was a picture of Emily in a bikini I'd never seen her wear on a beach in Miami, some guy's arm around her waist. Caption: sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. The comments were full of her nurse friends hyping her up. Yes, queen, living your best life, you deserve this. But what exactly did she deserve? A trip she couldn't have afforded when we were together. That bikini cost more than she used to spend on groceries in a month, plus in the background I could see a bottle service bill. I'm not stupid. I know what finding yourself really means. It's about sleeping around without guilt. Living some social media fantasy, while the boring boyfriend who genuinely cares, yeah, that's me, gets left behind. My friends tell me to block her, move on, focus on myself. And I am. I crushed a huge project presentation yesterday, and I heard whispers about a promotion to senior manager. I started hitting the gym at 5 in the morning before work, and I even cleared out her side of the closet to donate her stuff to charity. But what's tearing me apart inside is knowing she's coming back, and trust me, they all do. When her money runs out or her new friends get bored, she'll realize that her self-discovery was just a fancy way of making reckless choices. And she'll show up at my door, teary, apologetic, promising she's changed. But I've got to be ready. Not to take her back, F that, but to remind her of what she's throwing away. To show her the real value of our 5 years, stability, love, growth that she thought wasn't enough. I'm not naturally vindictive. I run teams, fix problems, build solutions. But there's a part of me, growing stronger each day, that wants her to feel what I feel. To understand that some things once broken can't be fixed, that some paths only lead to dead ends. Right now I'm focused on myself. But I'm also watching, screenshotting, documenting everything, because when this whole thing crashes down, and I know it will, I want proof. She wanted to find herself. Fine. But in the process, she's going to lose everything else. Update 1, 3 months later, posted by me. Holy crap. The support on my last post was overwhelming. For those asking for an update, strap in, because the past 3 months have been a living nightmare of watching her self-destruct. Remember when I said Vanessa was finding herself? Turns out, her version of finding herself was a 27-year-old woman with the decision-making skills of a drunk college kid and the spending habits of a billionaire. Let me paint the picture of these 3 months. Month 1, the exploration phase. She moved from Aurora into a fancy studio in Lodhu that I know costs at least $2, $0 a month. Started posting gym selfies at this upscale gym on 17th Street where memberships are $200. She bought a wardrobe that make a housewife jealous. Then there was her Vegas trip with her friends, her way of escaping responsibilities. Month 2, living her best life. Miami again, a week-long vacation based on her socials. Scottsdale for some wellness retreat, which looked more like a pool party with Instagram models. She kept posting cryptic quotes about growth and knowing your worth. By month 3, her mask started to slip. The glamorous posts slowed. Same few guys kept appearing in her stories, going from fancy dinners to bottle service at dodgy clubs. She even posted crying about how exhausting her journey was. But here's the thing, I knew her savings. We shared finances, planned together. She had at best about $15, $0 saved, maybe $20, $0 if I'm generous. But in just 3 months, she's blown through at least $25, $0. No way it's all on travel or clothes, someone's funding her. And while she's out there living like she hit the jackpot, I've been building a legit life. That promotion I mentioned, it's real, $115,000 a year plus bonuses. I moved into a beautiful loft in Reno. Bought that Audi S5 I dreamed of. Starting to date casually, just reminded myself that women like her don't need to wreck relationships to find themselves. My Instagram. It's just a highlight reel of stability and success. New car, new house, dinners, trips. I don't post thirst traps or motivational quotes. Just a guy who's actually living his best life without lying to himself. And that's when her messages started first, her friends reaching out. Hey, congrats on the promotion. Testing if I still cared. Then came the accidental messages. Sorry, meant to send this to someone else. 3 times in a week. But last week broke everything wide open. Nurses are supposed to maintain standards, professionalism, integrity. And when you're calling in sick to party across states, posting it all on social media, yeah, her supervisor follows her. So she called me crying, like really crying. I might lose my job, she said. HR wants to meet about her attendance. I asked why she's calling me. We're on a break, remember? I'm not her boyfriend anymore. I don't know who else to call. They're not friends, just people she spends time with when she needs a party. You're the only one who really cares about me, she said. Well, that was 6 months ago. I kept it brief. Be honest with HR. Take responsibility. What I didn't tell her was I'd already heard through the grapevine. Denver's medical community's small, and she's skating on thin ice with her no-shows, hungover mornings, and distracted shifts. The compassionate nurse I once knew gone, replaced by someone more interested in the next vacation than saving lives. And her studio. Yeah, she's 2 months behind on rent. Those savings she threw away, they clearly mattered. Meanwhile, I'm thriving, big contract win. Bonus that's like hitting the lottery, moving into a new place and dating someone who actually has her life together. Sophia owns her condo, drives a Tesla, she's the real deal. She thinks taking a break to play around is just silly. And I kept everything, screenshots, stories, tagged photos of her with random guys, her sick days in Miami, Vegas, all of it, just in case. I wasn't bitter, okay, maybe a little, but I knew her downfall was inevitable. When she finally spiraled, I wanted proof. Because when she shows up again, she'll learn some bridges, once burned, don't get rebuilt. They just leave you stranded on an island of your own making. Meanwhile, the final chapter posted by me 2 months later. The last word on this saga that started with heartbreak and ends with poetic justice. After my last post, silence. Vanessa disappeared from social media. Mutual friends said she's focusing on healing, getting her life back together. I didn't care. I was too busy living my best life, closing deals, getting raises, and finally making things official with Sophia. Then 3 weeks ago, I get a text from an unknown number. Hi, this is Vanessa's mom. I'm sorry to bother you, but I want to apologize for believing her lies. You were good to her. I didn't reply. What was there to say? But Vanessa wasn't finished. Last week, she sent an email, long, rambling, full of tears and self-pity, claiming she's in therapy, finally realizing her issues with commitment from childhood. Yeah, convenient. She finally admits she wasted her best chance, no regrets, she says, simply wants me to know she's finally understood. What she lost, delete, archive, our story, over. But remember how I said Denver's medical scene is tiny, word travels fast. Vanessa's epic downfall became legendary, a cautionary tale for nurses about what happens when you chase finding yourself at the cost of everything. Her license, under review, her reputation shot. She's radioactive professionally, socially, romantically. Meanwhile, Sophia and I. Last Saturday, we went to a charity gala at the Denver Art Museum. Black tie, fancy drinks, the whole 9 yards. I was in my best suit. She looked stunning in a designer dress. At our table sat Denver's big shots, tech CEOs, VCs, people I used to read about in magazines. I looked across the room and there she was, Vanessa, working the event as catering staff. Our eyes met across the room. Time didn't freeze, no music swelled. Just that silent acknowledgement. Here I was at a table worth thousands, making deals, leading my team, moving forward. And she in a polyester uniform serving hors d'oeuvres, the life she threw away. She had to watch Sophia kiss me on the cheek, pour wine while I shared inspiring stories of our success. She handled it with grace. No scene, no idle chat, just her job. But I saw her hands Trembling, saw her bite her lip when Sophia laughed at my joke, caught the moment her eyes told her she lost everything, every shot she took at finding herself, every social media post, every reckless decision. After dinner, I slipped away to the restroom. When I stepped out, there she was, waiting, not in a creepy way, just there, as if she'd been hopping for this moment. "You look good," she whispered. "Happy," I said. "I am," I answered. "Sophia's incredible, beautiful, and smart." I looked her in the eyes. "Sorry for everything. I know it doesn't matter now, but I want you to understand. I had everything and I threw it away for nothing." I told her she loved me, really loved me, and I convinced myself that wasn't enough. I was stupid. For the first time in months, I felt something besides indifference. No love, no hate, just cold pity. "Vanessa," I said, "you weren't an idiot. You were selfish. You wanted the stability I offered but still slept around. You wanted me as a safety net, walking a tightrope, expecting me to catch you when you fell. But I'm done being your safety net." She nodded, tears threatening to fall. "I just wanted to feel special," she whispered. "You were," I told her, "but that wasn't enough. You needed every man in the room to want you. The Instagram validation, the thrill of chasing strangers, did that work out?" She couldn't answer, just stood there silently crying as the party she left behind carried on without her. I walked away, heading back to my table and my future, one built on respect, stability, and genuine success. And here's the last twist she doesn't know. The catering company she works for, they just signed a contract with my firm, our annual corporate events. I personally sealed it, which means for the next year she'll be serving drinks and appetizers at every company party, every client dinner, front row seats to the life she abandoned. Serving champagne to the guy she thought was too boring to keep her interested. Some might say that's cruel. I call it poetic justice. She once wanted to find herself, and now she's serving drinks to the life she left behind. As for me, I'm finally done. Done with the anger, the petty revenge, all of it. The best way to get back is to live well, and brother, I'm living better than ever. To every guy out there told he's too boring, too stable, too predictable, ignore that noise. You're not too anything. You're exactly what the right woman needs. Stability, reliability, that's what love looks like. Never let anyone make you feel that aiming for a future is less exciting than burning bridges. Loving deeply isn't weak, it's powerful. And never, ever take back someone who thought the grass was greener, even if it was just spray paint. I'm marrying Sophia next year. We're buying a house in Cherry Hills, starting a family, building a life I always wanted. Vanessa, she'll probably be serving champagne at our engagement party, and I'll tip her well. Because she gave me the greatest lesson of all. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Peace out, brothers. I've found my queen. And the woman who wanted to find herself. She's still lost, serving bowls of appetizers to the life she abandoned. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you like stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.